Before that, though, let's get to some breaking news regarding the future of Jack Grealish. As you can see, Rob Dorset joins me. Good afternoon to you, Rob. What's this breaking news?
Hi, Jess. Significant news. Everton have made an approach to Manchester City over a possible deal to sign Jack Grealish. Now, there's some conjecture about how advanced those talks are. Some suggestions that talks haven't even started yet. I think it's very clear this is still at a very early stage, and the sense that we're getting, and from my colleague Vinny O'Connor, who's up in the northwest, is that if this does happen, it may be much later in the window when things have become a bit clearer for both clubs. But it's, I think, equally clear that David Moyes is a huge admirer of Jack Grealish and thinks he could do a really good job for Everton. Interestingly, probably using him as a number 10 rather than as a left winger, because with Ndiaye and other options they've got on the left-hand side, I don't think Jack Grealish would naturally slot in that position. So that's an interesting one. The other interesting issue, and what's going to be the key focus of these talks between Manchester City and Everton, I think, is his wages. He is one of the biggest earners at the Etihad. We're told £300,000 a week. And pretty clearly, Everton cannot afford to pay all of those wages themselves. That would blow their wage structure out of the water. And so I expect those negotiations to focus on the proportion of his salary which might be paid by Everton and by Manchester City. And the other really interesting thing to say here is it'll be really, really fascinating to see if any other clubs come in to make their own bid for Jack Grealish at this stage, because I suspect there's an awful lot of Premier League clubs, especially if Manchester City are prepared to pay some of his wages, who would like to have Jack Grealish on loan for this season.
So how big of a move could this be for him? Because this is a Jack Grealish that will know that there's a World Cup on the horizon next summer, hasn't been part of Thomas Tuchel's plans as of yet, hasn't been involved in England since, I think, October, was it?
That's right, yeah.
So what could this do to accelerate his career?
I think it's vital for him. I think everybody has been talking about that Jack Grealish needs to move on. Pep Guardiola has offered no guarantees that he'll remain at the club for next season, and he certainly hasn't offered him any guarantees about how many games he's going to play. And it's very, very obvious from all of what happened last season that he's not part of Guardiola's first-team plans. He made just one Premier League start. He was an unused substitute in the FA Cup final when Manchester City lost to Crystal Palace, of course, at Wembley. And so for a £100 million club record signing, that is certainly very, very frustrating and upsetting for Jack Grealish, but it's very frustrating from a Manchester City perspective as well that they have this huge asset that they're not playing. So I think it makes sense from all parties if he moves on. Everton look like they may be the club who can offer him that opportunity. As I say, I'd expect other clubs to come in and offer a similar sort of opportunity. But from Jack Grealish's perspective, you're absolutely right. He wants to be part of that England World Cup squad next summer. And as things stand, he's absolutely miles off even being considered for selection by Thomas Tuchel, because he's just not playing enough games. And so I think he will want to move. He'll be, of course, interested in which clubs come in for him. We don't know yet whether he's interested in a move to Everton, but it's pretty clear that David Moyes and Everton have pretty ambitious plans right now. And if they can sell that vision to Jack Grealish, then who knows? By the end of this transfer window, Jack Grealish may be pulling on an Everton shirt at their new stadium.
Interesting. He is a great player to watch when he's in his prime. So you just want to see him back out on the pitch, don't you? Rob, thank you for the moment.